Sir, you have written a book named called The Gold Harvest. What is the purpose of writing this book?
Actually, now this is a question a lot of people ask from me when my friends ask, what made you to write a book? Simple thing is, any writer will write a book because he can't keep quiet. He has some ideas. The only way to express the idea is through a book, because we are simple people. We are trying to do some kind of a revolution from home. We don't go to the streets. We do it at the computer. We sit down in front of the computer and write down something that is in our mind. So we try to pass that message to the readers. So the basic idea in this book is that to analyze what happened in this country recently, comparing it with something that happened 10 centuries ago during the so-called Dutugamunu era. That was the idea. There are many similarities. What happened then and what happened recently. There are many similarities.
You said that you have called the Dutugamunu as gamini. Why did you decided to give that name?
His name is Abaya, right? Although we call it Dutugamunu, his name is Gamini Abaya. The name Gamini is coming from the meaning that he is the leader of a certain village area, certain land area. Gamini means the one who is ruling. So the later people started adding the word Dutu, saying that Dushta, he fell out with his father, which is very doubtful to me, although the Mahavansa author has added that Dutugamunu, Dushta word, is very doubtful, because Mahavansa author is trying to highlight only the good side, the bright side of the Gamini Abaya. So when he is adding Dushta, he is not matching with his own basic idea. There is a conflict.
The Dushta means he was a cruel man, like that.
Not really cruel. Dushta means a man, unprincipled man. Unprincipled man, because he was not going with his father's ideas. But then from the beginning, my idea is from the beginning, father had doubts about his son. Father had doubts, right? From the beginning. That is what made the father to get a promise from his two sons, right? You remember, he asked the two sons, gave some milk rice, kiribat, and asked them to promise that they will not fight with each other. They will be always faithful to the Mahasangha, right? So on and so forth, right? Why the father wanted to make such a promise? Because father was doubting. Father knew this fellow is very bright. He's very bright. He's very smart. You cannot contain this man in this small area. But then, remember, father is a very far-thinking person. The Kavantissa is not a coward. A lot of people, our old people, think that Kavantissa was a kind of a coward, Biyagulu Kenik. No, it's not that. He was a far-thinking, far ahead. He was planning far ahead, right? So even the Dutugamunu Charite itself, from the day one, from the day he came from the day he was conceived, from that point onwards, there was a lot of propaganda. It was a long propaganda. They were getting ready for a future leader of the country, right? Now just imagine, now when he came to his mother's womb, right? As soon as he was conceived, mother wanted to have some kind of water from the Tisavav, right? And then she wanted to bathe the water. Stepping onto one of the LRS captain's head. Now, when you look at it from the today's standards, අපිට සිංහලෙන් කියනවා නම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඒක මහා ම්ලේච්ඡ වැඩක් කියලා. සිංහල බෞද්ධ කුලකාන්තාවකට ගැලපෙන වැඩක්ද ඒක කියලා අපිට අහන්න පුළුවන්.
Yes, because she wanted to drink blood.
ඒ කියන්නේ කඩුව ඒ හිස ගසා දැමු කඩුව සෝදපු වතුර බීලා තිසාවැවේ වතුර ටිකක් නාන්න ඕනේ කියලා තිසාවැවේ නෙළු පැලඳගෙන. ඉතින් මේක අපි අද වගේ කාලෙක වුණා නම් එහෙම ඇමරිකාවයි රුසියාවයි එංගලන්තේ සේරම කෑගහයි මානව හිමිකම්කාරයෝ. එදා මානව හිමිකම්කාරයෝ ඉන්නේ නැතුව ඇති. කෙසේ නමුත් whatever it is, that was part of a big propaganda saying that a leader is coming. A Diyasena Kumaraya is coming to the country. That was part of that, part of that plan. So even before Dutugamunu was born, the country got ready, saying, our savior is coming. So Dutugamunu was coming. And father prepared everything ready for him. The country was full of rice, all the food items were ready, all the arms and ammunition were secretly prepared, all that was done. So in that sense, I think Mahavansa Katru had been getting various things from various parts, but this is kind of a big part of a big propaganda plan. That is my idea. So that is what in this book also says some of those things directly and indirectly.
In the recent past, there was a false propaganda about that Diyasen was born again. But I think this is a false propaganda about for election. There is no any
Yeah, how many times we had Diyasenas? Now I was born in 1956, so I do not know exactly. But then in 1956, the same propaganda was there. Diyasena Kumaraya is coming. Why? At that time, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was born, and they were expecting certain things, certain leaders to emerge from that party, right? So that was Diyasenas are never born because Diyasenas are fictitious persons, fictitious, imaginary, hitalu, right? So they are born in our general public's mind only, not anywhere. No, there are no born leaders. Leaders are made by the general public. So that is my personal view. So I may be wrong, but then maybe people might dispute that. And even recently there was a talk about Diyasena, right? So Diyasenas are generated by even people like you and I, media people, politicians. They sit in closed rooms and they decide, this is the time to launch some Diyasena propaganda.
Due to this false propaganda of Diyasen, many young people have become many young people began to think that I am the Diyasen. Now they behave like mad people.
Yeah, but then now look at it this way. Good that young people think that they are Diyasenas, because that gives them some kind of inspiration to do something, to take the leadership. Taking the leadership and taking the law into your hand are two different things. Taking the leadership is okay, but taking the law into your hand is illegal. That is against the law. That will kind of, if you take the leadership to change the fabric of the society, the civil society, to improve it, that is pardonable. But if you take the law into your hand and disrupt the civil society, the fabric of the civil society, is a crime, right? It's a crime. So never forget, the constitution is there, law is there. So whatever we do, we have to do within the law, within the constitution, right? So this guy, this Gamini abaya, he did it within the constitution, right? For that, he got the help of the Mahasangha, with the help of the public. Public opinion was in his support, so he was using that for the benefit. So the consensus, what is the meaning of consensus? That is democracy. So even in the king's government at that time, Rajya Palane, Maharajuruwange Palane thiyena kale, there was a certain amount of democracy. So by general consensus, he got the support. He became the king of the entire country.
Thank you.
So that is the message I want to give at the end.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much
Vinetas.
for this opportunity. Thank you.